if crisis or war comes. This is a government-issued brochure, 11 pages outlining what to do in case of wartime and emergencies. This is being given out to every household in Sweden. What do they know that we don't? And then they go on to describe how if you're in Sweden, there's a duty to contribute to total defense. And if you're between the ages of 16 and 70, you can be called up to assist in various ways in the event of a threat of war and war. Everyone's obliged to contribute and everyone is needed. It also goes on to describe how the municipalities are there to help in the continuation of an emergency, the continuation of governance, fire and rescue, etc. And it's also your obligation to prepare too. Now, I wonder, the other nations of the world that might be preparing for war behind the scenes, would they hand out these brochures like Sweden is doing? And I've heard behind the scenes that Sweden might be getting ready for a civil war. So is that what this is about? What do they know that we don't? Or what do they know that we do? Well, let's go to page 3 here. What would you do if your everyday life was turned upside down? For example, what would you do if you couldn't get access to running water? What would you do if you couldn't keep your food cold or get access to food stuff? What happens if the banks are shut down, your bank card doesn't work? What happens if mobile networks are shut down, public transportation is shut down? How would you get around? How would you exchange goods? How would you protect yourself and your family? At least Sweden has the decency and the aptitude to send something like this out to their citizens. Now, once again, maybe it's just better time now than any. Maybe they've just got extra money and they wanted to spend that money on freaking out the population a little bit. Because do you think that if you were given one of these pamphlets, let's say that you were one of these citizens of Sweden, you get a pamphlet, and maybe you are a citizen of Sweden. I'd love to hear what you have to say about this. Or let's say you're in America and you get a pamphlet like this. Every household in America gets one of these. Let's say that happens. Would that cause red flags to go up? Would you think, they're getting ready? Or would you think, this is just another drill. They're just trying to keep us spooked. They just want to spend money and time and resources, and they want to take manpower and all of this and just spooking people out a little bit. That's probably it, right? The Middle East is a tinderbox right now. There have been huge moves in the political scenes, publicly and behind the scenes. A lot of stuff publicly, internationally and locally. The shadow factions certainly seem to be gearing up for something. And oftentimes in the past, wag the dog, promote fear, problem, reaction, solution. They'll use fear tactics on the right when they do something on the left. But when you see a government-issued brochure outlining specifically how to prepare for war, and then in this pamphlet, it even says they will not, where is this? Let me read this to you. If Sweden is attacked, resistance is required. If Sweden is attacked, resistance is required. We must be able to resist various types of attacks directed against our country. So they're saying if Sweden is attacked by another country, we will never give up. All information to the effect that resistance is to cease is false. Now, that tells me that they're doing more than just preparing the citizens for a natural disaster. They are preparing the people for war. It's in the brochure. And I'm just a conspiracy theorist. And on that note, I want to say thank you for watching the podcast. Also, check out Noble Gold Investments. If you have a 401 or an IRA, and if you're a little bit concerned, if you think that maybe the stocks have kind of tapped out If you think that it's a good time to diversify and secure some of that, it's so easy to do. Easy and quick. Check out Noble Gold Investments. Let them know Leak Project sent you. If anything, just get the free books. They're giving out free books to Leak Project listeners. Click the links. How inflation is used to keep you in the rat race. It's insane when you see how much money you would get via putting interest. Put your money in a bank and see what you're going to get on interest on that money, and then check out inflation. It's insane. And they put it in perspective so well with these free books. So just get the free books. Be excellent to each other. You like this? This is a 5-ounce silver piece from Noble Gold Investments. You could have a bunch of these. You could have a bunch of these. So be the change you want to see.